But is Georgia going to win the game, Clint? It's all
Okay.
nice and good. We're breaking down our thoughts and our feelings about who runs
Sure.
what type of offense and who's injured and what's going to happen and blah, blah. What if we just came out and told you the score of the football game on Saturday today on the Locked On Bulldogs podcast?
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back, everybody. Today's episode of Locked On Bulldogs brought to you by FanDuel. More on them in a moment, but make every moment more. FanDuel.com/LockedOn. Daniel, we are giving predictions out for the Georgia game. We're going to give line predictions. There's a betting line. There's a betting component of this game. There's a real component, which is how you and I feel about this game. And if they're going to win, we're going to give our official predictions for it. We're going to give out locks. Which we've had some up and down. If you all didn't realize that this year in college football sideways, the 8 teams, winning record of the top 8 teams remains the same that everybody predicted. Oh, I don't know. Beginning of the year, we all kind of anticipated this. But outside of that, Daniel, it is a hot mess.
Also, we're not running from these records. The reason you're seeing these trash records that we're posting up here is because unlike everybody else who's out here making predictions, we are actually posting our actual results. We're not scared of them. We're not afraid. And guess what? I got a lot of ammunition in the chamber this week, Clint, and we're gonna get right. We're gonna get right. We're gonna get healthy this week.
Hey, go back 5 years. Your boys take care of you. Okay,
we've taken care. Fade me. I dare you to fade me.
Go ahead, because we got a whole pack. Daniel, let's start with this Georgia game against Ole Miss on Saturday in Athens. Ole Miss coming in top 10 ranked team against the second ranked team, Bulldogs, according to college football playoff. The line for this game is interesting.
It's 10.5 points, according to our good friends over at FanDuel.
That's interesting.
It is an interesting number of points. The over-under is 58.5. And so
it's a lot of points.
In Athens, at night, 10.5 points. The home team is giving up.
Now, help remind me. Kirby Smart, top 25 SEC night game in Athens. How does he do during those games, Daniel?
Tennessee fans are not watching the podcast yet, so we'll have to check back with them next week about that particular topic. But I believe he does fairly well.
The dude wins. He wins and he cruises to wins most often.
10.5, though, is kind of a scary number. There's a lot of backdoor cover potential there for Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, Lane going to be beating his chest for a fourth quarter cover, Daniel. He's going to call timeout to kick a field goal. He may
do it. We're going to talk to our good friend Steven of Locked On Ole Miss podcast tomorrow. It'll be interesting to hear his thoughts about that. About how he feels this game's going to go. How do you feel the game's going to go? Are you anticipating high scoring, low scoring, and do you have a lock?
This game, I commented earlier in the week, and some other folk over on Twitter agree with me. Daniel, some people in the text comments agree with me.
Okay,
that one said gentleman calls it feast or famine with Ole Miss. When that thing gets going, it gets going good for Ole Miss. When it's bad, it's puke bad.
It's not great. No.
Okay. So I gave 2 kind of spectrum outcomes for a game like this. And again, call me a homer, please. Because I anticipate Georgia handling business at home. And Daniel, I do have a lock in this game. Do you have a lock in this game?
I do not. I'm not locking anything up in this game. I'll give you my thoughts. I'll give you my official prediction, but I'm not locking anything up. What are you locking up?
Lay the points.
You're going to lay them.
People, lay the points. Here's why. Let me specify again. It's top 25 at night in Athens with a chance to clinch on the line. Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
We could have this game in hand and the East in hand when this game is all said and done, going to the college football playoff, because if we get to the SEC championship and win that, everything is still right in front of us. I don't think Lane Train has it in him to beat Kirby. I just really don't. I think the traveling offense doesn't travel well. Defense sometimes travel well, but not for Ole Miss. I think the boys are going to be ready. I think we have the defensive rotation now in hand. I think we have corner position taken care of. So I'm laying the 10.5. Give me the Dogs. Give the points to Ole Miss. I don't care.
I just don't know that I can. I'm not making a lot of friends on the podcast this week, and that's fine. I don't know that I can trust this defense enough to come out here and lock up 10.5 points. I will say this. If Georgia covers this 10.5, I anticipate that it will be because of one of two things happens.
Tell me.
One, Georgia gets some early turnovers, and the game gets sideways. Now, we didn't get early turnovers versus Kentucky, but the Kentucky miscues on offense were like turnovers, basically. And that game got out of hand before it really got going. That's option one for Georgia covering this 10.5 points. Option two is that the Georgia offense comes out and scores on about 9 out of its 10 drives. Now, Georgia's going to get some drives in this game because Ole Miss likes to play a lot faster than a lot of Georgia's opponents. Ole Miss not going to be milking that clock.
No.
They're not going to be sitting on the ball. So Georgia's going to get a few more possessions than they typically have in recent weeks. If Georgia's offense there's a scenario in which Georgia's offense just comes out and steamrolls, and they have been doing that, scoring on an incredible clip of, an incredible high percentage of their possessions. The issue is they're kicking a lot of field goals on those scoring drives. But if Georgia scores a lot of touchdowns on those scoring drives, I think the offense could carry them to like a 42-24 kind of easy cover of this number. But I just don't know that Georgia's going to cover 10.5. I don't trust Georgia to cover 10.5 because of the defense locking down Ole Miss and holding them to under 13, 16 points. I don't know that I see that outcome for a 10.5 point cover. And so I'm going to predict something a little bit more pedestrian, like a 31-21 game, where Georgia certainly wins the game, where Georgia certainly gives up more points than a lot of Georgia fans are going to be comfortable with, and where Georgia's offense moves the ball, but kicks a lot of field goals and wins by about 10 points.
This man has just, he's been too dead inside for too long. Give me 35-21 Georgia all day long. We're going to come back after this. We're going to talk more locks, but first this. And Daniel, this is I'm sorry. This is FanDuel. We know FanDuel.
We're talking locks.
FanDuel.com. We're talking locks. FanDuel.com/lockdown. Make every moment more. Right now over on FanDuel, they have this incredible thing going on, Daniel. It's called
Tell me
betting on sports and winning money. That's what they got going on.
I love that.
Exactly
I love
that. If you're a betting person, which we are, get over to FanDuel.com/lockdown right now. Make every moment more. They are safe. They're reliable. They're the only place. All of these lock predictions brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Locked On Bulldogs and Locked On Podcasts everywhere. Get over there right now. Enter the promo code Locked On. They're going to make sure you get yours. If you place a bet and it doesn't cash, or it does cash and it's more than $5, they're going to give you bonus bets right to it. Just for signing up new customers, FanDuel.com/locked on, saying, hey, here's bonus bets. All you make every moment more. That's FanDuel.com/locked on, official sportsbook of Locked On Bulldogs and Locked On Podcasts everywhere.
Clint, we are back and talking locks. I said I got the card loaded up. I don't want to waste anyone's time. I got 8. I got 8 in the chamber, and I'm ready to spend them all.
Well, then go.
I tell you, I see a lot of these lines, and a lot of these I'm just going on feel for a lot of these games. Game number 1.
Here we
go. Big nooner.
Yeah.
Michigan ain't going to lose no Penn State, Clint.
Come on.
Lay them. 5.5 points. Michigan, I think, is going to go in. I do not trust Allard, the quarterback for Penn State. He looked terrible against Ohio State. This just in, Michigan's defense better than Ohio State's defense. Penn State couldn't run the ball against Ohio State. This just in, Michigan's defense better than Ohio State's defense. I think Michigan's offense is better than Ohio State's offense. I expect Michigan to kind of get whatever they want, and you could say what you will.
Okay.
You can have any opinion that you want. I don't care what your opinion is. Let me tell you something that is objectively true, whether you like it or not.
Okay.
Michigan's going to play better football because of all this nonsense than they would without it. Like this,
if you don't know who Michigan man is,
this is the kind of thing that brings a team together.
Free Harbaugh was on his jersey for the man lying about hamburgers.
Yeah. So I'm going to lay them with Michigan. Probably for the rest of the regular season, I'm going to lay them with Michigan. So I'm going to start this week 5.5. Lay them.
Talk about, is that your lock of the week, Daniel? Okay. It's a great lock of the week.
Getting my lock of the week out of the way right at the nooner.
Nooner.
Big nooner.
Okay, here's the deal. A team comes off a big victory that they thought was a big victory, but is against a team that isn't as big as they thought they were. Playing against a team that actually is playing well. You see all that playing over there? How about this?
I got confused. Who do I bet on?
Auburn's a better team than Arkansas.
Yeah, so Auburn would be favored in this game, right?
Nope, they're getting points, Daniel.
No.
They're getting points. Arkansas is a bad team. They're not great. They're not good. They had a big win against Florida. I understand. Auburn's playing better football right now. I know.
Billy's not going to make a bowl game, yo. If you haven't watched some Billy Napier press conferences, you are missing out, Georgia fans. Get over there right now. It's a thing to behold.
Billy Napier, what's that guy on King of the Hill that had like the just the square head? It was like SpongeBob SquarePants before. That's what Billy Napier is going to be in 20 years. It's fantastic.
It's not wrong.
Give me Auburn.
Auburn plus 3.
Lock of the week.
Double them up. Double me up. Get me on there. I need to get on that train. I'm going to take you to another SEC school here, Clint. It's hard to get up off the mat.
Oh, here we go.
After you go toe-to-toe with a heavyweight and you lay it all out there on the line.
And then what happens?
And your coach pops a blood vessel in his neck because he's screaming obscenities like a small child.
His name is Drinkovitz, by the way.
It's hard to get up off the mat. Even if you're at home against Tennessee, give me the Vols and lay the 1.5. It's a real short number. I think the Vols are going to win this game. I'm sorry, Missouri. I think you're a good team. This is no disrespect. I think Tennessee's going to win this game. So give me the Vols minus 1.5.
If y'all don't realize that there needs to be more room on the bus for you and me and everybody else that wants to make money, give me Tennessee as well, Daniel.
I don't like it.
This has nothing to do with Missouri's talent or team or accolades. You just
get off the mat.
You spent it all. And it was your best shot, but best wasn't good enough. No. I'm going to take you to one more before we go to break and then come back with more, Daniel.
Okay.
Here's a you said you're going with gut and kind of just eyeball, just feel for the game. How has your feeling been as you watch TCU play this year?
They're bad. They're just, listen to me. They're not good
at the footballing. Okay. Texas has everything in front of them to play for, even though they won't make the college football playoff. They think they do. They think they have a shot. TCU and Texas are playing, and Texas is only giving 10 points. I say only. I know that's double digits. I get it. I understand. TCU is a very, very, very bad team. Look at Colorado, what they're doing right now. And remember that Colorado went in and absolutely manhandled TCU to begin the year.
They did.
They can't get a half-yard push on any side of the line of scrimmage. Give me Texas laying 10.
What if I told you, Clint, that I'm also on this game?
But what if
I told you?
Oh no, this man.
No, just hear me out.
Okay. Let me listen.
In Fort Worth,
sure.
Is there a more Texas thing on this planet than losing to TCU this weekend? You name it. Matthew McConaughey in an El Camino with a belt buckle and a cowboy hat is less Texas than losing to TCU in Fort Worth, what might be the worst Horned Frogs team in decades.
Yes.
I don't know why, but I'm taking the points. I'm taking those 10. We're fighting on this. I want the Horned Frogs. Listen,
I'm listening.
The quarterback play at Texas has not been good.
Nope.
Since Ewers has been out. Yes, they have everything in front of them. Yes, I still think Texas is going to win this game. But I think they're going to be in a dogfight with a rival at home and a team that has nothing to lose. That's just going to be out there firing at Texas. Texas has not, you watched them last week, right? Texas is not particularly good. So
this is how bad TCU is. That's what this is all about.
I get it. Give me TCU and the points. We'll be back. We got more locks right after this.
Speaking of El Camino, what if I were to tell you that you can just go ahead and just enter in the year, make, and model of your El Camino?
Matthew, are you listening?
eBay will instantly say, but Matthew doesn't come with the car. And we say, no, we don't let him out.
We don't want him.
Trust me, we don't want him. eBay Motors, the right parts, the right fit, the right prices. eBay Guarantee Fit is for U.S. customers. And what you do, you enter all that information in, you go to eBay, you click on the part that you need. Maybe you need another set of steer horns, Daniel.
One ain't gonna cut it.
You're gonna need a
second one,
because when you ram that thing into the back of the Horned Frog,
which you're gonna do,
you need a second. And don't worry, eBay Motors has the right part, the right fit, the right prices right now for you. Enter into all of information, and you can rest assured that anything you get will have that absolute guarantee fit, and it's only for U.S. customers. ebaymotors.com. The right parts, the right fit, the right price every time.
All right.
Give me your next.
I got 5 more, so I'm gonna. No, what do I have? 4 more. I just have 4 more.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. Boy, these are all gross. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's not a game in here that I would watch. Of these 4 picks, this ain't based on what I plan on spending my time watching on Saturday. Okay. You tell me what team Boston College should be the favorite over.
TCU.
Virginia Tech is catching 1.5 against Boston College. I don't need to see any more than that. Give me the Hokies, who are actually playing some relatively decent football lately.
Not bad.
And Boston College is a terrible team.
Daniel, this is just purely on. Sometimes you bet chaos. Chaos isn't here yet.
Okay. We're holding on chaos.
Hold the chaos. That's important. Anybody could just
anybody can just bet on chaos.
But
it's the holding the chaos.
Chaos is gonna come at the end of the year. Okay.
Oh, you saved a Thursday night pick for the end of the show?
I did. Wow.
It's only Wednesday. People got time.
Daniel. Give me Louisville. They're laying a whole bunch of points, Daniel. They're laying 20 points against Virginia. Virginia, not a good school.
No.
Louisville.
I mean, a good school.
Yeah, sure.
Good academic school.
I'm sure Jefferson didn't Jefferson, graduate.
Yeah, it's a big thing. That's their whole thing.
Right. That's like, okay, that ends the list. Thing. Yeah.
They have no. They have Thomas Jefferson and Tony Bennett. These are the people that the basketball coach, not the singer.
I understand that.
Tony Bennett, the singer, might have gone to Virginia. I can't confirm or deny.
He might be on a yacht somewhere, but I know what is happening. And Louisville's going to cover these. That's a lot of points. Virginia's bad. Louisville good. They have everything in front of them. They want to play for that ACC championship. all the way at the end of the year where chaos may happen. But give me Louisville.
Speaking of chaos, speaking of undefeated teams, it's hard to go undefeated in a season.
It is.
James Madison just beat Georgia State.
Here we
Clint.
go.
It was their biggest test of the season. That's what everybody was saying.
This man's on a James Madison.
James Madison just takes down Georgia State.
Uh-huh.
The Georgia State coach, the press conference, did you see it afterwards? The Georgia State, it was an all-timer. The Georgia State coach press conference. If you haven't watched it yet, go Google it. It is absolutely fantastic. James Madison beats Georgia State. Big win for the school. They're still undefeated. They host Connecticut, lowly UConn this week.
UConn's not very good.
No, they're not. They are catching, though, 25.5 points. And I'm going to take them. I want the points.
What are you doing?
I want the points with UConn. I think they're going to give James Madison a scare. I might sprinkle a little bit on the UConn money line, Clint.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to go undefeated. These are 18 to 22-year-old kids. They are not prepared to win their biggest game of the season and then host lowly UConn. And they think they're James Madison. They're just going to walk out there and roll over UConn. Like, they're James Madison. They could get got by anybody at any point.
Who do you think went to school at James Madison?
I don't know. Maybe like John Quincy Adams.
This is why the 199 loves us, Daniel. It's the banter. The 199 glad that you're here.
I got two more.
Okay. I'm going to look. I don't like this. Don't love it. Embrace me.
I hate both my next two picks.
Embrace me still yet.
Mm-mm.
Alabama's a good team.
Okay. You've started off on a real low note, a real sour note.
They're playing Kentucky.
I
ask you, does Kentucky have anything to play for?
No.
Alabama's giving 10.5.
This is the fishiest line I've ever smelled in my entire life.
Fishy as all fishy gets up. But Daniel, we said at the beginning, the top of the show.
This line ought to be 13, 14 points.
It shouldn't be 10.5. That's all I know. Give me Alabama laying 10.5.
All right, I got two more picks. I hate them both. Arizona is everybody's darling. All they do is cover spreads. That's literally all they do.
They're a good team.
Gronk is out here in a tank top, just firing up. He's giving players high fives on the sidelines.
He is.
Colorado is in shambles.
Okay,
Clint. Like,
this man
don't listen
to him.
The program is in disarray.
Listen to him.
All Arizona does is cover the spread.
But what happened?
Colorado at home plus 10.5. Give me Colorado.
Oh my gosh.
Plus 10.5 at home against Arizona. And then, I don't know, Clint. I got one more. Everyone saw Rutgers last week play against Ohio State. Everybody now thinks Rutgers is good at football.
They're not.
Iowa, meanwhile, is the most disgusting football team any of us have ever seen in our entire life.
Correct.
But that doesn't mean Iowa's not going to beat Rutgers this weekend, because they are. So Iowa, minus 1.5, hosting Rutgers. That's easy money right there. This game is going to be 13-9, and Iowa's going to win, and I'm going to cash.
I had 2 logs and one more. I'm going to give you my one more, and then one of my logs, Daniel. I'm going to cut to the chase. One of my logs was the Iowa game. I was unsure. I wanted to take the over/under, which is sitting at 29.
I would never touch that under.
Oh my gosh!
But I'm not going to bet on Iowa over. I promise you that.
No, I promise you that. But give me Iowa as well.
Just lay them with Iowa.
Lay the points.
Short
easy. Number. We're getting real weird. This line is fishy.
No, things are getting out.
This line is fishy. These two teams I've never watched in my entire life play each other, and they will play each other, and I will say, go have fun. Old Dominion and Liberty playing, Daniel.
Okay. I caught some heat for betting on UConn James Madison, but here we go. No, say more about Old Dominion and Liberty.
You know the mascot of Liberty. You don't know the mascot of James Madison.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my point is proven. The Liberty Flames giving 13.5 to Old Dominion.
The Freightliner.
the transport holder.
Yeah, correct.
Give me Liberty or give me all them monies,
or
which I will take.
I'll give you another X on that little graphic.
Just by the way, one of my logs, Maryland -2 against Nebraska.
Yikes. You want to talk about a game you don't want to bet on just so you don't have to ever look at the box score. Like, there are some games you don't want to watch. There are some games you don't even want to look at the box score for.
Like, it embarrasses us that we're college football fans and that game exists.
Speaking of 199,
come on.
I'm disappointed about the outcome of the Georgia-Oregon game. Yes, I'm disappointed. But let me say this.
Please.
Let me say this.
Go ahead.
It's not the end of the world. Oregon is a good team. I'm not mincing words. I am disappointed. I thought it would have been a huge win for the program. It would have been a great way to start the season. We looked bad. That's the part that really disappoints me. It's not that we lost the game. It's that the offense lacked continuity. There was a lot of standing around and dribbling. There was no movement on offense. There were no open shots being generated. There's a lot of one-on-one, a lot of garbage basketball, to be honest with you, being played. And there weren't any shots being made. So if shots had been going in, maybe that could have worked, but it's not the style of play that I think Mike White wants. It's not the style of play that I think is going to win basketball games.
There was no pre-production about this, by the way, people.
There's a lot of season left. I am very anxious to see some better product. Whether we win or lose against Wake Forest on Friday, which is another decent team for a home opener. Whether we win or lose against Wake Forest on Friday, I need to see something better. I did see some fight on the defensive end, and I did see something from the young freshmen that I really like. Moral of the story is, no matter what happens in this basketball season, we're going to talk about it like as it happens. No matter what happens in this basketball season, the name of the game is, can we keep those three freshmen, Silas Damari, Blue Kane, Dylan James? Can we keep them from transferring after this season? Like, all we need is for them to be on the team next year. That's the whole goal of this basketball season.
It depresses me that that's our goal.
It has to be, because it's literally never happened since the transfer portal era started.
I understand. It just depresses me. That's all I'm saying. This has been Locked On Bulldog, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. We will see you all tomorrow.
See ya.